And now, from the Career Tech Studios in Stillwater, here's your host, Rob McClendon.
Well, the latest census shows Oklahoma is the 8th fastest growing state in the nation, and Oklahoma City, the 5th fastest growing metro area. In part because as the nation emerges from recession, this is where the jobs are. Today, we're going to visit with state and business leaders about why that is and what we need to do to keep our hot streak going. Oklahoma has been called the state that keeps investing in itself. With decreasing unemployment rates, low taxes, and a great workforce, Oklahoma is ranked in the top 10 in states for doing business. Diedre Meyers is with the Oklahoma Department of Commerce.
I think compared to other states, we're doing quite well. And there are a variety of reasons and ways that we can measure that. One is what we call our pipeline, our economic development pipeline. And a pipeline basically is the number of proposals or requests that we have coming in of businesses that are interested in either locating in Oklahoma or expanding in Oklahoma. And our pipeline has never been so full.
A pipeline that continues to drain unemployment rates, dropping from 6.5% to 6.1% in March.
Now, why is that so? A couple of reasons. One, comparing to other states, our economy has been very stable through the recession. We did not have the exuberant growth before the recession that other states experienced, and we did not have the decline. We have foundational industries that have been very strong in Oklahoma, including the oil and gas industry, manufacturing, and when you look at aerospace, that's another foundational industry.
How important is natural gas to our state's economy?
Natural gas is very important. Not only is the mining industry, which is oil and gas, a significant component of our GDP and the salaries that people make within that industry, but other industries support oil and gas. A perfect example is manufacturing. Manufacturing is very strong in the state of Oklahoma, and in fact, people who say that manufacturing is dead or that there is a demise of manufacturing just haven't looked at the data. Manufacturing is one of our largest employing industries, and it also has our highest wages. Manufacturing, though, supports our oil and gas industry.
Support, Governor Mary Fallin says, is only increasing at our state capital, which is why she signed a series of laws she believes will help boost the economy.
Well, for many, many years, we've talked about the economic impact that legal costs and frivolous lawsuits can have upon a state and its ability to be able to retain jobs and attract new industry to our economy. And so for years, we've talked about trying to pass some major lawsuit reform that would make us more business friendly, but yet also allow people who have a legal grievance to enter into the court system and be able to, of course, have their day in court. And so we think we have signed and passed a fair piece of legislation that puts a cap on what's called non-economic damages.
Despite being ranked as a top business destination by magazines like Forbes and Newsweek, today, Governor Fallin says now is no time to rest, which is why she's asking the legislature for her very own quick-acting closing fund.
Well, we live in a highly competitive global economy right now. I mean, not only do we compete with other businesses, we compete with other states, we compete with other nations around the world. And as we compete, you know, we've got our own incentives, whether it is tax incentives, we have our own quality of life issues that we sell. But many times when it's coming down to which state are they going to choose, and they've looked at maybe 4 or 5 and it's come down to the last 2, there may be just a slight difference between, say, Texas having something that's really beneficial to being very attractive to closing that deal versus Oklahoma. And in fact, as a matter of fact, Texas has an opportunity fund, a closing fund that their governor can use that can help spur them over the line to get those major jobs into their state. So I've asked for the legislature to send me legislation that would be a quick action closing fund so that when we're down to the final run of being competitive, of attracting new investment, new jobs, new companies to our state, that I'd be able to have that as an economic development tool to help close the deal and create jobs.
As a state, how do we balance trying to attract new industry into the state with trying to retain the industry we already have and maybe growing that industry.
I think it's very important that we take care of businesses in our own backyard. And that's why in my legislative agenda, I've talked about holding down the cost of doing business in our state so we can create more jobs, we can pay our workers more, we can pay for health care benefits and things that are important to having a quality educated workforce in our state. And so we're doing what we can to make us more pro-business friendly. And I think it's what companies look for, whether they're staying in Oklahoma or whether they're coming to Oklahoma. And along with that, besides the pro-business atmosphere, whether it's the workers' comp, the tort reform, is education. If we don't have the quality, skilled, educated workforce that employers need, they're not going to stay here or they're not going to come here. And so we've been proposing and passing some great education reform for our state to make sure that our children get the education they need and that the workforce deserves.